What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Training Tuesdays. This is episode 4. I'm your host, Travis McKenzie, and I'm excited to bring you today's show, which is presented by our friends at LL Bean. So thank you again to LL Bean for supporting and partnering with us on today's show. We have a lot to cover today. We're well and truly into the training plan. We have our experts coming in to share some check-ins, share some tips, and we're also welcoming back Maggie from our first week, who has some really amazing tips on cramp management and getting ourselves through some of those things that may come our way. So I'm going to bring in our first guest here, our first expert, Tish Caldwell. Tish, welcome to the show.
Hi. It's great to be back. It seems like it's been a while.
It's been a couple of weeks. How's everything going on your end?
Things are great. It looks like we're moving into week 3, right? And you know what I want to do is, before we get started, because we are moving into week 3, we'll talk a little bit about that, just do a quick check-in. But I just want to tell folks, this is such a wonderful program, and it's really fun to do with family. I have some teammates, and I'm going to have them step in. And my teammates, come on, Liam and Ellie, kind of stick your face in here, can you? This is Ellie. This is one of my teammates.
Hi, Ellie. Welcome.
And here's Liam. And we have been faithfully doing the Coach to 5K. We started the first week, and we've been moving right into it. And I got to tell you, when you have teammates, if one of you doesn't feel like doing it, the other two make you do it.
Yeah.
I've usually been the one that says, well, let's do it tomorrow. But they've been like, no, let's do it now. Have you guys been having fun with it? Yeah. So I just wanted folks to know, get your family engaged. It's really family friendly. So it's not too late. It's not too late to do it either. All right, guys, thanks. I think one of them wants to go back to Xbox.
Yeah, go back. You've got to save some energy for your training later on today as well.
That's right. We do plan on training today.
I love the teammates. I love the accountability. I think it's an amazing way to get through what comes up. There is obviously moments of motivation waning. There's challenges in life and scheduling, and everyone's busy. Yes. So it's always great to have an accountability partner. And if they're family and loved ones, then all the much better for that as well.
And can I, in speaking to that, because we are moving into week 3, and the kids, they are my grandkids, they actually went up to camp for a week. So we had to do a little bit of adjusting. Even though they were active, they were swimming, they were hiking, they didn't actually do the program. So when they got back, we had to do a little catch up. So remember, even though we're in week 3, if you want to join us, you can adapt this program and eventually catch up to where we're going to be. So don't feel like because we're in week 3 that you can't do this, because we actually adapted and we're now caught up.
Yeah, perfect.
So it works.
Great advice. And I just shared a link to the resource page that we have on our website. So that's available for people to go and check out the plan. They can check back in where they are. They can adapt and change as needed. One thing that I'd love to hear from you, Tish, is where are people at? Obviously, 3 weeks in, it takes 3 weeks to create a habit. So hopefully people are in good habits. But what can they be expecting to be feeling? There might be some soreness. There might be some lack of motivation. They might feel like they're getting ahead of themselves and said, well, I've got 5 weeks to go here. I'm not sure if I'll be ready. What are some of those things that people may be dealing with as we go through week 3 of the Couch to 5K plan?
And I think, if you're doing it and you're moving into week 3 and you're still with us, you got this. The soreness, if you are experiencing soreness, remember the stretch. The warm-up is so important. I think Travis said, there's a link, there's resources on the website. There'll be a link to the stretches that I shared with you in week 2. So get the pre-warm-up, a little bit more dynamic stretching, the post-stretch. Make sure you're stretching. It really makes a difference. I know I'm doing it with the kids, and we're really managing. No shin splints. We haven't been sore. It's okay to slow down. Wherever you are in the program, if you're week 3, now we're doing it's a 3-minute jog, a 2-minute walk, a 5-minute jog, and then a 2-minute walk, and you do that times 2. You know, if you're in that 5-minute jog and you're like, ooh, I gotta slow down. It's okay. It's okay if you start to walk.
Yeah.
You're doing it, and you're just going to build. You're going to build. That endurance is going to build. So stick with it, and it's okay to slow down.
Yeah, I like that as well. And I think one thing that I've learned and I've shared with other people over time is sometimes you want to actually make it feel that first interval or that first rep. You want to make that feel like you could continue. Yes. Once you get to it. You don't want to get to the point where 3 minutes is up and your hands on your knees. Yeah. and you're all done. You want to feel like you could do that again and again and again, and that naturally helps you slow down, and will help you be able to monitor and maintain your energy throughout the whole session as well. So that's a good little kind of tactic that I've used before that's worked for me.
Yep, perfect. And again, you know, remember all those little ditties, you know, slow down if you need to, hydrate, the warm up, the cool down stretch, just be kind to yourself and enjoy it. Have some fun with it. We're having a blast. And I got to say, you know, when the kids are done, they're actually coming into the house and saying, that was the best. We're taking mom with us today. So mom's going to join us. So it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's amazing. And one thing that I've really loved seeing is people sharing their progress too. So on social media, people sharing the workouts they're doing and the rides they're doing and how they're, you know, getting ready and engaging with the community has been fantastic to see. So encourage you all to keep that going. Share with us your journey along this the 5K plan. It's been great to see. Any final words or tips for where people are at, knowing that, you know, we have some longer workouts to come in the next few weeks. So there's some other things and complexities to think about. So anything else that people should be looking forward to or thinking about as we keep moving forward here?
I'm going to say stick with it, have fun, and in future weeks we're going to share some more stretches. We're going to engage. We're going to do some more core work. There's going to be some wonderful nutrition information that's going to get shared. So know as we move forward, we're going to be there to support you right along the way. We're going to be your cheerleaders.
Yeah, perfect. I'm going to bring Maggie in. Maggie's got some amazing information. I know we'll see you again. You're going to do some demonstrations for us. But thank you for the check-in, and we'll bring you back in here momentarily.
All right.
Thanks, Tish. So Maggie, welcome to the show. We had you on the first week. It's great to have you back. I'm very, very excited about what you're going to be sharing with us today. I know that you've got a lot of information. You've got a lot of detail for us to run through. So why don't we launch straight into it? Welcome to week 4.
Thank you. It's great to be here. Yeah, so I'm going to talk about cramp management. I'm going to talk a little bit about how to prevent them and what to do if you get them, kind of first aid for cramps. So just a little bit of background with this. Researchers don't fully understand the cause of cramps, that they can't point to one reason. It seems like some people are prone to cramps and some people tend to be pretty cramp-free. So it's recommended that people kind of come at working with cramps from kind of lots of different directions because it can be multifaceted. It might not just be one thing. Mm-hmm. And over time, you'll get to know your body. You know, you'll know what works for you, what to do, what not to do. Some of the things I'm going to suggest will not be that relevant and others may be. So, you know, it's an exploration because there's not just one answer. So for some people, overexertion may play a role. And in that way, I'm just going to echo what Tish was just saying, you know, train methodically. You know, it can be tempting to get overzealous on a day that you feel good. But if you can, try to discipline yourself. Try to just work very gradually. The Couch to 5K is the perfect kind of container for that. You know, those workouts build sequentially and they don't jump in intensity. So train well. That would be number one. Again, to echo what Tish said, you know, nutrition plays a role in good function, in overall health and vitality. So eating well. Judy will talk about that, but she did share and wanted me to share that her go-to foods for after a sweaty workout are things that are salty. So her go-to foods are pretzels and hummus, chips and salsa, pickles and cheese. So if you have any questions about that, she'll be on and you can get some more detail. Back to what Tish said again, hydration is huge. Again, staying well hydrated is just going to improve your performance in life. So stay well hydrated. And in terms of electrolytes, experts will say they're definitely worth attention, but maybe not worth obsession. And just be cautious that you're not getting extra calories unnecessarily from them. I know, Travis, you have a favorite electrolyte product. Do you want to just say something about that?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I love those tips. I love it's almost lunchtime. So hearing Judy's post-ride snacks is making me a little hungry. But my personal preference, as you mentioned, for electrolyte consumption is noon hydration. NUUN is how you spell that. And to your point there, I love the fact that it doesn't actually come with a lot of extra calories. It's really clean ingredients. It's really high in electrolyte content. It doesn't leave you with adding in a whole bunch of sugar and extra things that you don't necessarily need. It's easy to carry. They come in tablet form. You can carry them in your back of your jersey or in your pocket, in your bag, wherever you need it. Just drop some in water and you're good to go. So I've found that to be really beneficial for me, especially in the hot summer days when you do need to make sure you are topping up those electrolyte levels.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, and that's a reminder too, not to let yourself get too hot. So hopefully our really hot weather is past, but having some water just to douse yourself with can be a good thing. Some people really benefit by wearing compression socks. And compression socks, there's a wide variety. There's a medical grade compression sock. There's just an athletic grade, which is sold over the counter. That can be helpful, but I would recommend that you actually ask your doctor if it's safe for you to wear them, because there are some conditions where wearing a compression sock, there may be a contraindication. So again, you'll get to know your body and get to know your body through this process. That's one of its gifts and beauties. And then I would also say vary what you do, kind of vary the way you do what you do. So if you always are running or riding on a flat surface, you may go looking for a terrain that has some contour or some grade. If you're always running on pavement, look for a softer surface, like the trail around the Back Cove, or there's these beautiful trails at the Olick facility, which is owned by the Y in Auburn. They're soft, well-worn, safe trails to move on. You can experiment with changing the length of your stride. If you listen to music, you could try changing the music you listen to. Like, I love salsa music, and when I listen to salsa, I use my arms and my hips differently. And when you use your body differently, you're using different muscles. So when we move out of habit, sometimes we're just using the same muscle over and over and over again, and it gets tired. So if you can use your body differently, you can redistribute the effort and actually change your strength in a different kind of way and maybe avoid taxing certain muscles that could cause cramping.
Yeah.
So even if something as simple as the focus of your eyes, if you notice you're always looking down, if you look up, it'll change your neck, it'll change your shoulders, and it'll change your breathing if you open up your chest. And it might give you a little bit more movement through your shoulders, which can give you a little bit of power. So you're not just using your legs, you're using your whole body.
Yeah.
So your awareness is huge, and you could even use your awareness to make a change without even knowing what change you're going to make. As you're moving, you can say, what do I feel in my back? And just bringing your attention there, how is my back moving, invites a different kind of participation, or just the awareness could create a change and maybe keep you a little bit more interested in what you're doing.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
I think one thing that Dr. Lizzie had mentioned a couple of times is really doing a body scan, checking in with yourself, checking in with your breath. Where are you holding tension? Is it in your neck? Is it in your jaw? Is it in your shoulders? So I think that's relevant not only on the bike, but also out running as well. And in life, when you're sitting at your computer or you're sitting at the table or you're on the couch, take a moment, do a scan, think about how and where you're holding your body. And that can, as you mentioned, really help kind of prevent and alleviate some of these things that may come up.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep. Love it. So I think you have some practical tips and some demonstrations for us today, which I'm excited about.
Yeah. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what to do if you do get a cramp.
Okay.
So one thought is to eat or drink a really strong flavor. There's a theory that does something to the nervous system that can interfere with the cramp. So like mustard or pickles. Again, Lizzie Baker's going to come back on, and I think she has some thoughts about that. What I'm going to do actually, though, is show you a movement that you can do that will help. So I'm going to scoot back, and I'm going to show you. So basically what you're going to do is voluntarily contract the muscle that's involuntarily contracting.
Okay. I'm going to take myself off the screen to do the full view here.
So I'm going to scoot back so you can see my body. Okay. So oftentimes people get cramps in the back of their calf. And so that muscle is involuntarily contracting. So what you want to do is voluntarily contract the opposite, which is the muscle on the front of the calf. And the movement that you make that contracts that muscle, so this muscle will let go, is the movement of bringing your ankle back towards your head. So just gently kind of bringing it up. You can do that in a kind of a slow pumping fashion. You can do that with your heel resting on the floor, or you can do that with your heel slightly off the ground. So when this muscle contracts, your nervous system will tell this muscle to relax. Okay, so if you move up to your thigh, if you're having a spasm in the back of your leg, which is called your hamstring, you want to contract the muscle on the front of your thigh, and this is called your quadricep. And the way you contract your quadricep is by straightening your knee. So again, you can do that just by bringing your leg up like that to straighten your knee, and you can put your hands on your thigh, and you can feel that muscle works. And when this muscle works, your nervous system will tell this muscle to not work and to turn off. So you can do that standing up too, and it's actually good to keep moving when you have a cramp. So if you stand up and just very gently push your knee back, put your hand on your thigh, you'll feel that you have to engage the front of your thigh to do that. So you contract the opposite muscle from the one that's spasming. So if the muscle is spasming on the back of your body, you contract the muscle on the front of your body.
Yeah. Now, one question I have around that, Maggie, is quite often when you get a cramp, it's quite debilitating. You're in this moment of panic. Your breathing becomes more rapid, and you're kind of there's a level of concern. Is this something that you can have someone help you with? Is this something that you would require to do on your own? What would be the best way to kind of mitigate that or manage that as it comes up?
Yeah, that's a good question. So actually, that's a good segue to this next thing I'm going to show you. I'm actually going to show you some acupressure points that you can self-administer that can help. And you can do it to yourself. Okay, so this is going to be our first point. I'm going to show you a picture of it. Let me get it in the frame. So it's at the base of the big toe on the side towards the second toe.
You got my
So Tish, what you want to do is you want to use your finger to slide your finger down your great toe headed towards your heel. And when you feel where it's a little tender, you can stop and then just hold it for about 30 to 60 to 90 seconds. Take some deep breaths. Make sure you're breathing. You can actually move your finger in a slightly circular motion, a little massage. And everybody's body is a little bit different. So you want to look for the place where you actually feel the tenderness and the soreness. So if it's over to the right a little bit, to the left a little bit, towards the toenail or down towards the body of the foot. Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to show, any questions about that, Travis? You're on mute.
I was actioning along there myself as well and giving myself a nice little acupressure. So I'm going to continue to follow along on the demonstrations here.
All righty. So here's another one. Let me show you where it is.
Oops.
So if you could see that it is on the lower leg, on the inside of the lower leg. So Tish, I'm going to have you sit with your legs crossed, one heel over the thigh of the opposite leg. So you're exposing your inner lower leg, and you're going to take your hand and put it right up against your ankle bone. So that's one hand's width. Now take your other hand and put it right up against the first hand. Now pick up your first hand and put it right at the top of the second hand. Just a finger, a pointer. Yep, you're going to use your thumb. Right, your thumb's going to be right up against the edge of your second hand. Okay, and then switch hands so we can see you. Okay, so can you feel the bone?
Yes.
Okay, so that's the place, and you want to think of almost going a little bit back behind the bone. So you can use on the back side of the bone. Yep, you can use a firm pressure. Is it tender?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So you can use a pretty firm pressure, and you can hold that pressure for between, like I said, 90 seconds. You can make little circular motions. Make sure you keep breathing. Yeah, that's perfect. And again, if the very top of the second hand is not where you feel the tenderness, again, you can move a little bit up your leg towards your knee or a little bit back towards the back of your calf to look for the place that's tender. This is actually a really, really good acupressure point. I'd encourage you to give it a try. All right, thank you.
They're great demonstrations. I personally love using a tennis ball or something hard as well. So finding some of those acupressure points around your body and your hips, particularly when I'm running a lot, my hips get tight, my lower back gets tight. Do you have any kind of advice or thoughts, Maggie, on kind of some of the tools and apparatus that are available for people out there?
Yeah, for sure. So you can actually put pressure right into the belly of a muscle that's having a spasm. And a tennis ball is great. You can just use your thumb and do it. You can use your thumbs right into the belly of that big bulky muscle on the back of your calf. Some people really love foam rollers to kind of get into the hamstring, roll the whole length of the muscle. The muscle goes up and down and roll with the grain of the muscle. That's really helpful.
Yep.
Yeah.
One thing that I've also thought about was, running and getting a side stitch or having some pain. What happens there, and how do we alleviate that?
Yeah, that's a great question. So that's actually the muscle of breathing that spasms. It's called your diaphragm. And the antidote to the spasm, even though it feels like it's hard to breathe when you're having that side stitch, is to take deep breaths. Sometimes people will get side stitches when they get anxious or nervous, like if they're a little bit wound up for a run and they're doing a lot of like upper chest breathing, that will happen. Sometimes people will find if they've eaten too much before they run, the belly needs room to move and it might not have enough room and it might create some discomfort through the diaphragm. So, you can experiment with eating maybe a little bit less or a little bit more, just, maybe. So again, it's an exploration. There's no one reason why that happens, but taking deep breaths. That tends to happen to people who are earlier in their training. So if that's happening to you, I would encourage you to stick with it, that over time, that will probably go away.
Yeah.
Yep.
Great advice. One other thought that I have around prevention. I know we're talking a lot about measures to kind of alleviate something that comes up acutely, but thinking about how, stretching has been one thing that we talked about foam rolling. Is there anything else that people can think about to keep themselves limber, any kind of regular body maintenance techniques they can think about so that perhaps some of these acute issues don't eventuate?
Well, movement is just so incredible no matter what you do. If you just take a walk around the block, if you just, when you lie in bed in the morning, before you get up, if you just, just stretch and just yawn with your whole body, it doesn't have to be anything fancy or special. It's just incorporating it into your day, taking those little stretch breaks when you're at your computer. Like I said, with your eyes, your whole body will follow your eyes, and we are on our computers and our whole bodies are just following our eyes. Even when you're on the computer, just take a minute and look out on the horizon.
Yeah.
Or even look a little bit up and just take a minute to feel how that affects your body.
Amazing. These are great tips, Maggie. I really appreciate it. I know they're going to come in handy for a lot of our participants and our viewers. Personally, I'm going to implement some. I was following along and I had my thumb right in there on my calf, right in on my toe. So I'm going to implement some of those as some preventative measures as well. I do want to redirect people back to Strava. We've been talking about Strava quite a bit recently. That is somewhere where we're going to be able to answer any and all questions that you have. But one thing that's also really exciting, this is going to be the first time we've publicly announced this. Today is the very first day that you can actually join the Dempsey Challenge Strava Challenge presented by Amgen Oncology. So our friends at Amgen Oncology have been great in bringing this one to life. And what this is actually allowing us to do is connect with athletes from all over the world. And at last check, we had 17,000 people who had signed up to join the Dempsey Challenge on Strava, which is incredible. And it's opening up, as I said, to a global audience for the very first time. I just posted a link. If you are on Strava, please go in, sign up and register for the Strava Challenge. And also make sure you're in the Strava Club where we can answer any of the questions that you may have. So Tish and Maggie and Lizzie and myself are active in there. So if you have questions, comments, thoughts, please add them into the club there. Maggie, Tish, any final words?
Maggie, go.
I loved seeing Tish's grandchildren. I think this is not only a great way to get strong, it's a great way to build community.
Agreed. Tish, I agree with that. Any final thoughts on your side?
And speaking of grandkids, it's been fun. So have fun, stick with it, have fun, and it's not too late to start.
Yeah. Amazing. Well, thank you so much to you both for being here with me. I'm going to let you go now. I'm going to finish off and round out the show. And I look forward to welcoming you both back in the future. Maggie, we'll see you towards the end of the series. Tish, we'll see you again soon. Bye for now.
Thank you.
Bye for now. Thank you.
So once again, thank you so much. Episode 4, done and dusted. Thanks to our friends and partners, LL Bean, for the sponsoring of this program. Please go and check out the amazing products, the local Maine-made products that LL Bean have. And once again, go visit our Strava Challenge. Very, very excited about that. Join one of the 17,000+ people from around the globe. And leave your comments, thoughts, questions there. We will be active and answering those as we go along and as we see them. So I'm your host, Travis McKenzie. This is episode 4. I can't wait to see you all next week. I can't wait to welcome Judy back with Lizzie and some nutrition tips. We've got some great cooking segments, some recipe sharing coming up. So lots and lots to look forward to. I'll echo the thoughts of Tish and Maggie. Keep going. If you're not started yet, catch up. We can adapt and you'll be ready to go in time for the Dempsey Challenge in 5 weeks. That's all for now. Thank you so much. See you next week.